welcome. I am going to be talking about my experience in the winter expedition in Poland, which was absolutely amazing and breathtaking in everything I learned, everything I experienced. I am going to take with me for probably the rest of my life. It was such a beautiful experience. And if you want to do this, do it. Like, don't think about it, do it because it is a life-changing experience. I wanted to do this for about probably like 3-4 years when I did start doing ice baths and breath work. On the other hand, I would not change this experience for anything. Everything I lived was beautiful and it was perfect. There are some things, I had to process. But that was the whole point of it, is just processing everything that we lived also, because in the moment, and this is what I'm going to talk about a little bit, in the moment, everything, you're so in the now and you're kind of just going with emotions of everything that's happening, and later you have to process also, because is that you start feeling like you are in no time, like time has a different speed that you can't really fully understand, because one day feels like maybe 3 days, maybe 4 days. You are doing so much work, inner work, in connection with everything and everyone. And you start realizing this is how we should live, this is how we should feel, not how a lot of times we are stuck in a matrix and we are not connecting with people. We are not really being compassionate. We are missing that, and it comes from not going back to our inner roots and our inner nature and really connecting with Mother Earth and people and ourselves. So, I am sure you want to know what is the logistics of this and what to expect. And to be honest, there are things that you can expect, and there's a lot of things that you won't expect. So go there to expect the unexpected. That's the only thing I can tell you. The logistics, there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be very similar every event, which is first thing, you buy your ticket, you get to Prague airport, you meet with the Wim Hof instructors and with the fellow warriors, how I like to call them. Don't tell them. Shh. When you get there, you get assigned to a team. In our event, there was around 400 people, and our teams were of 25 each. When you get assigned with your team, you get into the bus and you drive 3.5 hours to the event, to the hotel. It's a very big hotel. There's an amazing spa that it's like Disneyland, honestly, but anyways, that's another story. And when you get there, I think we had dinner, and then the next day we go into our teams and we start getting to know everybody in our team. We also start to do activities that are very personal to each team. So you're going to have the very expected activities, which is doing the ice baths and going up the mountain, hiking in your shorts, and then you're going to have the waterfall, which was my favorite day, to be honest. But you're also going to have your group activities that are going to be very different for every team. So because every instructor puts its inner beauty and their uniqueness to it. And we had 2 instructors for each team, and we did a lot of activities that were very introspective and sharing to our fellow teammates about our journeys, about our struggles, about also beautiful things. And you get to connect and really get to know a stranger in such a deep level that in one day they're not strangers, in one day it feels like you've known them forever, and you build this very close connection to them. And even though you don't have to be best friends with them, you have this connection with them and some love towards them, because you've shared such deep experiences and you've also told them very vulnerable things about yourself. And it's it feels like, a stranger that you just met, you've just known, you have a deeper connection than somebody you've met for a really long time. And um, this was just absolutely beautiful because I am not a person that really likes small talk. Yes, I love to have fun and I love to do um, just like playfulness things, but I do really like to engage in deep conversations, like conversations that matter. And so this for me was very beautiful. For some people, it might be really uncomfortable. So yeah, that was a very deep experience, and that's a lot of like what I didn't expect. It was a part of expect the unexpected, right? And then we had the normal activities that you see in all of the promotions. Now, I'm sure you want to know, is Wim Hof there? Do you get to meet Wim Hof? Yes. Yes, Wim Hof is there quite a bit. And he is exactly who you see in videos. He is this super loving man who has just so much love for everyone and for everything he does and so much passion. And he is very tribal. Like that's I love that. A very caveman, very tribal, very connected to his body and not that much with the mind. And so we get to meet him a couple times. It was very interesting. I got to hug him. And the day of the waterfall, I'm going to go to this day because it was my favorite day. And it was a day that I had a lot of aha moments. So we go into the waterfall, and everything in this event was very tribal. And that's one of my favorite things because I am obsessed with Viking culture. I honestly think I was a Viking in a different life, but that's something about me that might not interest you. But the reason why I'm talking about this is because everything's going to be very tribal. Like if you like tribal, if you like that energy of connecting with nature as we used to before, you're going to love this. And we get to the waterfall. It starts very tribal already with the drums. And when we go into the water, there's Wim Hof, like with the drums, like going all out. In this shift in energy where it's just so exhilarating to be there. And we go all in our groups into the waterfall. We didn't get to jump this time. It was very shallow, but we went into the waterfall. It was super cold. Plus, when you get out, you are barefoot in the cold floor. So you're trying to warm up and you're doing the horse dance, which is this exercise where you're squatting and you're doing horse dance to heat up, and you are with all your team, and you start getting like really intense and you start pushing this energy and feeling very like you're gonna go to war. That's what it felt like. It was just like, like yelling and whoa, and then our teacher was with the drums. Yeah, it was just so amazing. I'm not gonna interpret the whole thing, but just remembering was amazing. The aha moment of realization of why was I really there, because as everybody, and if you're planning to go, you probably have your list of like all the things why you want to go. And for me was meeting Wim Hof. That was one of the main ones because I've followed him for so long. I wanted to go and climb the mountain in my shorts. And third of all was meeting people that were in the same kind of world that I was, that liked the same kind of things that I liked. And I realized that the most important one for me in that moment, it was the people. It was my group. It was the connectiveness. That's what made it so incredible. And we were there doing the horse dance, and they're like bringing each other up. And that was like, it's the people. It's the people. And yes, it's everything else, but it's just that energy and what we've grown, how we've grown so much together, even in those few days. And I also realized that this is why we're so out of whack a lot of times, because we don't live how we used to live. We don't live in that life where we're connected to nature and to thrive. thrive is very important. And a lot of times, people, we are in our own world, we are in our own problems. We are not in thrive. We are not in that openness, or most people aren't. And we don't connect with that sense of compassion. And a lot of the things, also, when you're doing something more extreme, you are looking over each other. You're always looking for that the other person is doing okay too. And that's what really connects you. You have this feeling of wholeness, of inner peace. And even after the event, even though I was sad, a little bit sad that it had been over, it almost felt like it was a dream that happened, and it was just a dream. That was the feeling I had. And I think a lot of the team members also had a sense of withdraw, if I can say it like that, and kind of like a wind down afterwards, going back into normal life. And but even like that, I still felt the sense that even though I felt a little bit of like I was really missing it, I also felt a lot of peace, even though I knew there's a lot of things in my life that are going to change. I just felt this sense of peace, and I know all of that came just from those 6 days. So it was really powerful, and you feel like now you can do anything you put your mind into. That's really how you feel afterwards. So this is why it's important to go to these kind of retreats and this kind of events, because it really kind of brings you back home